10 Best Memory Techniques for Exam Success. Here are some of the most effective memory techniques for exam success that will help students retain information and recall it accurately when they need it most. 1. Active recall. Active recall is a technique where you actively test yourself on the material, rather than passively reading or reviewing notes. Instead of simply rereading notes or textbooks, try closing your book and reciting what you remember. Use flashcards, quiz yourself, or explain the concept out loud as if you were teaching it to someone else. Research shows that actively retrieving information strengthens memory pathways, making it easier to recall later on. 2. Spaced repetition. It is the practice of reviewing information at gradually increasing intervals over time, which helps with long-term retention. Use apps like Anki or Quizlet that are specifically designed for spaced repetition, or set up your own schedule. For example, review the material on day 1, then day 3, day 7, and so on. The idea is to review the information just before you're likely to forget it, strengthening the memory each time. 3. Mnemonics and Acronyms. Mnemonics are memory aids that help make information easier to remember, often by associating complex information with simple words, phrases, or images. Create acronyms to remember sequences or lists. For example, for the colors of the rainbow, use ROYGBIV, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. You can also create rhymes, songs, or even stories around the information to make it memorable. 4. Mind mapping. Mind mapping is a visual way of organizing information that helps with understanding and memory by connecting ideas in a structured way. Start with the main topic in the center of a page, then branch out with related concepts. Each branch represents a subtopic, and each subtopic can branch into further details. This helps break down complex topics into a visual format that makes it easier to see relationships and remember the structure of the material. 5. Chunking. Chunking is breaking down large amounts of information into smaller, more manageable chunks or groups. For example, if you have to remember a long list of items, break it into groups of 3 to 5 items. This technique can be applied to numbers, vocabulary, or steps in a process. The brain finds it easier to remember chunks of information rather than a long list. 6. The Memory Palace Technique, Method of Loci. The Memory Palace technique is a visualization strategy where you imagine placing items you want to remember in specific locations within a familiar space, like a house or a room. For example, if you're trying to remember a list of historical events, imagine walking through your home and placing each event in a specific room. Later, you can mentally walk through your house and recall each event by seeing it in its designated spot. This technique is excellent for remembering lists or sequences. 7. Teach the material. Teaching the material to someone else forces you to explain concepts in your own words, reinforcing your understanding and memory. Find a friend, family member, or even a stuffed animal, and try teaching them what you've learned. This process will highlight any gaps in your knowledge and help clarify your understanding. The act of teaching requires deeper cognitive processing, which enhances memory. 8. Visualization. Visualization involves creating mental images or stories that relate to the material, helping to cement the information in your mind. For example, if you're studying anatomy, picture each part of the body and visualize its function. Or, if you're studying a timeline of events, imagine each event as a vivid scene. Visualization makes abstract concepts more tangible and memorable. 9. Association techniques. Association techniques involve connecting new information with something you already know. For example, if you're trying to learn a new vocabulary word in a foreign language, relate it to a word or image that sounds similar in your language. If you're learning someone's name, connect it to a distinctive feature they have. This link helps reinforce memory by giving new information a familiar anchor. 10. The Feynman technique. The Feynman technique is a method of deep learning where you explain a concept in simple terms as if you're teaching a child. Write down what you want to learn at the top of a page, then explain it in the simplest words possible. If you struggle to explain a part, go back to your study materials, review it, and simplify it further. By simplifying the concept, you'll reinforce your understanding and be more likely to recall it during exams. And there you have it. By using these powerful memory techniques, you're training your brain to remember more and stress less. Don't forget to practice. Just like learning any skill, memory techniques take practice. So, try out a few methods, find what works best for you, and make it a part of your study routine. Trust me, these strategies can be game changers for your academic journey. If you found these tips helpful, give this video a thumbs up, share it with friends who might need a memory boost, and make sure to subscribe for more study tips and tricks. Remember, with the right tools and a positive mindset, you've got this. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy studying!